the Western Cape, because you like behaving almost as if you're a government on your own. There's a national government as much as of government of unity. It is quite important that there's one police and there was one president, and that's why we're all marshaled.
Very much, Honorable Member. I take this opportunity and invite the Deputy Minister, Mineral Resources and Energy, to come and address the House.
Thank you so much, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Mr. Freeland Mutsweni, Zipane, Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources, Mr. Gwete Samson Mantaja, and members of the NCOP, including, of course, the Chairperson of the Select Committee, Mr. Bones Mutise. Ladies and gentlemen, just the last speaker, as you were speaking about the energy and matters that we're speaking about, one thing that you left to also say is that in the Western Cape, because you like behaving almost as if you're a government on your own, there's a national government as much as of government of unity. It is quite important that there's one police and there was one president, and that's why we're all marshaled. So the appetite for you to behave like you've got your own ministers, you're going to do your own policy. There's one policy direction of the government, and that should be understood. So when you speak about electricity supply in the Western Cape, you must also acknowledge that who supplies that electricity? It is still Eskom, 25% of electricity. That's what you generate, as much as you're speaking about other sources. So I thought it's quite important. You promised people of the Western Cape in 2023 in July that you're going to have more megawatts. You have not done that. So you should not behave like Western Cape is different from any other. But I'm not speaking. Let me get to my speech. Honorable Chair, our nation has over the century benefited from the mineral endowment that our nation is blessed with, albeit not without limitations. Although the mining sector has been a backbone of South African economy, which led to the major development in areas with natural resources and access to ports such as Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Western Cape. The fact of the matter is that the pit-to-port approach to mining only benefited a few in urban areas, whereas workers and mining communities were left poorer. The enactment of the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act in 2002 and the introduction of the Mining Charter in 2004 presented significant changes in the living conditions of mining communities and labor ascending areas that would have transformed the working conditions of mine workers and paved the way of the participation of the previously disadvantaged people, in particular women and youth, who are the hardest hit populations by the scourge of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. While I'm on that point, Honorable Member of the EFF would have also acknowledged that when we speak about social compact but also the social plan of mining when it comes to the mining sector, wherein this the Minister of Mineral Resources was a beneficiary himself, born as a child mine worker himself, that NUM is the one that did a fund to fund young people to ensure that they get education from that sector. You need to acknowledge that. It is heartening that since the dawn of democracy in 1994, that the introduction of the MPRDA black ownership in the mining industry has increased from 0.2% to 39%, whereas women participation in the industry is now over 72,000. More encouraging to us is that not less than 2 women hold the executive position in global mining companies, that today we have the second female president of the Mineral Council of South Africa. I think we need to clap hands for that. It is transformation. And since its inception, the 135 years ago, we want to say to the President, Dr. Nombasa Chengwa, that kindly ensure as you climb the ladder, you also take another woman with you. In order to sustain this transformation into the future, the department continues to empower women with mining skills and knowledge through the Women Diggers program, and to really provide financial and non-financial support to the artisanal women across South Africa small-scale miners. To this end, the Mintech has trained over 200 women since across South Africa, from which 7 cooperatives trained over were formed and have since applied for small-scale mining permits. So we do issue mining permits. We acknowledge the backlog insofar as issues of licenses is concerned, and that's what is going to be attended to. And given South Africa's endowment with the world's largest reserves of the platinum group metals, the manner in which these minerals are extracted and processed will require maximum participation of the artisanal and small-scale miners. It is in this context that the department will convene the regular workshop and information sharing platforms to really encourage emerging miners to seize the opportunities presented to them, with a particular focus on historical mining provinces, including the Free State, the Gauteng, Limpopo, Northern Cape, and Northwest. So we acknowledge issues of Krugersdorp, the mining towns, what would have happened. The issue of rehabilitation of these mining towns is something that Minister Gwede Mantashe would have spoken to me about, to say you need to also pay attention to that. So that is something that hold on to your desk. You're going to see me on the streets very soon. Now, we want to say this workshop that we convene will be joined by the mining experts who will impart knowledge and skills to the participants from institutions such as Mintech, Mining Qualification Authority, Mine Health and Safety Council, Geosciences, to ensure that indeed young people, also women, does participate in such programs. And I want to say that the rehabilitation program, since its inception of this program, we have rehabilitated 42 abandoned mines and closed 396 holdings. An additional 2 mines are currently being rehabilitated, while 4 more derelict and ownerless mines are undergoing the design and planning phase. And with the additional funding for this current financial year, we're going to ensure that indeed they are also stabilized and there is money that is being made available to that authorities to that end. So I want to say the issues of rehabilitation of the derelict mine and ownerless, we are bringing the total allocation for this program to 310.8 million during the current financial year. So Mr. Modise, me and you, we're going to hold this to account and ensure that indeed we pay attention to it. The Mintech has also, its inception, that program of 42 has ensured that now 2 mines are currently being rehabilitated. That means the department intends to further rehabilitate 3 mines and close 40 holdings. So we will be closing these 40 holdings. I want to come closer to the issues of beneficiation to say that in order for us to create value for the minerals extracted in our shores and ensure that the benefits of mining accrue to the people of South Africa, we will focus our energies on ensuring that these minerals are beneficiated locally, therefore limit the exportation of these jobs associated with the beneficiation. So we are really alive to the fact that we need to create these jobs in terms of domestication. But fact of the matter that South Africa, to guarantee inclusive economic growth and realize employment creation, beneficiation such as source becomes critical. It is therefore imperative that on all of this use to ensure reliable and affordable electricity supply to really support local beneficiation, and this is quite critical. I want to draw to the House to the ANC policy conference, wherein it would have pronounced itself on the need to really investigate, conduct feasibility studies, and make sure decisions on new domestic issues of refinery, the capacity, noting the closure of existing refineries, that we need to steer ahead, and this ministry is alive to that effect, that indeed this policy needs to be ensured ensure that we come to the finality of it. But it also further said in its recommendation that for the sake of the future mining activity, jobs and intensive program of minerals exploration should be undertaken so that the new mines can be opened and new minerals, some of which are critical minerals for the energy transition underway globally, to be discovered. Hence, as this ministry, we have that exploration fund that IDC is funding. Hence, the minister would have called to other private partners to say, come on board, ensure that you invest so that we are able to fund and find minerals, the new minerals of the future. And that's the paper that minister has been speaking about, that they're going to be sponsoring 2 papers, the minerals of the future and the type of minerals we have currently in terms of those studies. We hope honorable members will be able to support the exploration fund and such initiatives that are undergoing in terms of this ministry. I want to say that as multi-stakeholders initiative and tripartite alliances, we have contributed to the improvement in the mining industry. The health and safety performance is quite important, evidenced by, among others, the reduction in the number of fatal accidents. We are also alive to that fact. In closing, I want to say to yourself, it's quite important that we pledge our commitment to working with members of this House, organized labor, communities and businesses to really transform the mining and petroleum industries and make them globally competitive. It's quite important this sector is the one that gets into the NDP and make sure that indeed the economy of this country drives. So it's quite important that you come closer to the sector to ensure that you give the necessary support that is really warranted. While I still have minutes, allow me to pay a birthday celebration to a gallant fighter, Utata Govenbeki, who would have birthdays in this June month, a man of stature, a man who would have given his life to the liberation movement, a communist of nature, who would have spoken about the mining industry in this country. And you would also find pleasure perhaps to also go down and check one of his books that he would have read, and he would have spoken about what was important insofar as exploration, exploiting the mining and the issue of labor. What would have...
If I may, just a point of order. Under the rules of debate, Rule 58.
You can proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable Chair, I'm just checking the timing here. That clock is sitting at 1 minute, minus 1 minute and 25 already. Are we all going to get an extra minute and a half when we speak, or just this minister?
I've already given you, honourable member. The minister is actually done with her speech. Thank you very much, honourable minister.
She's just been talking.
No, she's done. She's done.
All right. Thank you so much, honourable member. You must also adhere to the lessons. You enjoy me talking. Say it. Oh, thank you.